Welcome everybody to my math class. Today I will review some type of SAT questions. In SAT test, normally they make questions with three different categories. The first category is a speed test. That's why sometimes they hide certain information and then how fast you find it and then solve it. And then the other one, they make a question, how correctly you solve the problem. But it looks like a very simple, so you can guess questions to get wrong answer only. Okay? So you have to use a formula each time correctly. And then the other type is a difficulty problem. They test your ability of solving questions by putting the harder questions. Let's see here, for example, if you read a question like, you drive at an average speed of 60 miles per hour from city A to city B, and drive back at an average speed of 40 miles an hour from B to A. What is the average speed for the round trip? How do you answer to this? Many students answer 50 miles because one way speed is 40 and the other way is 60. So 60 plus 40 divided by 2 is 100. No, 50. Obviously wrong. Why? Okay? In this case, if this question is so simple, it means kind of a trap. You just answer 50, then you got wrong. Okay? Why? The question is average speed. To get average speed, you have to divide the total distance, in this case 2d. If we say the one way is d, then 2d will be round trip distance. Distance divided by time. So when you drive A to B, you spend d divided by 60. And from B to A, you spend d divided by 40. That is the total time you spent for total distance of 2d. If you work out this, simplifying and getting the common denominator, then you would get 48. So in this case, if you look at the 5 choice questions, you may see this one in choice B, and then C, 50. So they put their 50 in middle. So a lot of students look at that one, and then they may choose that, but totally wrong. You understand? So this one is how correct you are in solving problems they test you. Okay, and the second one, for the questions, 24683 times 29 plus 24683 times 71. How fast can you get the answer? If you don't get the answer right after you read the question, like in 2 seconds or 3 seconds, you may not get perfect score in SAT 1 math. Then how fast? Then if you look at over here, why they give you same figure here, 24683, 2486, and then here 29 and 71. If you factor out 29 plus 71 will be 100. Once you have 100, how do you time? You just put a 20. Okay? That's why they survey time, and then they make a question. When you look at this one, same value, 2971. If you factor, it will be 100, just a 20. Okay? If you use a paper and pencil for this question, you are too slow. When you read this one, you have to be able to calculate it in mind right away. Okay, now, the other one. The other one is a difficulty test. When you left the home, you saw the minute hand and hour hands overlap between 3 and 4. And when you come back home, you saw the minute hand and hour hands overlap between 5 and 6. How long were you out of home? That looks a little hard, right? The overlapping hour hand, minute hand between 3 and 4. What the heck? Between 5 and what the heck? You may think. So in this case, you have to figure out how do I handle. Okay, when you have a clock here, this one is 12, this one is 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Then they said overlapping means hour hand, minute hand. Then you have to find out the special property of hour hand and minute hands. Okay, at the 3, minute hand was here, and hour hands at 3 exactly. And then they move. Minute hands move somewhere here, and hour hands move here. Minute hands here, hour hands here. Then they make straight line. Then how do you handle that? You have to handle this by angles. So minute hands fast 12 times as fast as hour hands. So you can make equation x degree by minute hands. Then you can make equation. Minute hands moved from 12 to here, x degree. Then our hands come here, means what? Our hands was here at 3 o'clock, so this one is 90 degree already. 90 degree plus x divided by 12. Why? Minute hands 12 times as fast as our hands, which means our hands move 1 over 12 only. Okay? By solving this one, you can get degree. Once you get that, you can change into exact time up to hour and the minute and the second. Okay, don't answer with a minute only by looking at. Always in this case, they ask you up to a second, exact time. Okay, solve it. And then between 5 and 6, in the same token, you can get angle. Once you get angle, you can transform to minute again. Okay, so you try. Now we have here preview questions. With a preview question, let's get some idea for SAT questions. If a reloading machine produces X unit of reloadings every 4.5 minutes, how many units of reloadings does the machine produce in K minutes? Answer in terms of X and K. Okay, this one is time, rate time equal distance format. And not only for distance, whichever problem, if you go by product, then RTD format, you can use R is rate, T is quantity, and D can be total. So in this case, you have to get capacity per minute. X unit every 4.5 minutes means each minute it can make X over 4.5. With that per unit ability, they spend K minute, then you will be total. Now second one, if an ELILA machine produces T unit of ELILA every M minute, how many units of ELILA does the machine produce in H hours? Answer in terms of T, M, and H. Okay, would you please try now? Okay, stop video. If you don't stop, you will see my solution, means cheating. Okay, stop video. Okay, did you try? Okay, T unit every M minute means what? T divided by M will be per minute number of product made by the machine. And then H hour. If you multiply H here, that's totally wrong. Why? This one is per minute product. but they ask you H. In H hour, how many minutes do you have? If you don't get the idea right away, just replace this one by number, like a 2, for example. In 2 hours, how many minutes? 120. How do you get 120 from 2? Times it by 60. Okay, in H hour, we have 60 times H minutes. That's it. Now, number 3. If the area of a rectangle with length 5n and the width 2m is a q, what is the length of a rectangle with width 3m and the area 4q? They just give you using simple concept, but they are defined by different letters. So fourth step, this one is given information. 5m times 2n make a q. 5n and 2m, but either way. And then they give you question with 4q and 3m, which is 3m times how many n will be 4q. Okay? 1q is 5n times 2n, means 4q will be times by 4 each side here. Okay? Then to get this answer, you just divide. Okay, 4q is 4 times 5, 20. So 20 times 2 will be 40 mn, which is 4q, right? 4q. Okay? So 40 mn is 4q. Then to get answer, you just divide. You leave a question mark only. Okay? Question mark only will be divided by 40n. Okay? Then the answer you will get by just n, right? Very simple. Okay, now number 4. Yvonne is 2m years old in year n, and she's 3m years old in n plus x. How old is she in year n minus x? Stop video. Okay, how do you do? In year n, she is 2m years old. And then from n, x years later, she becomes 3m. From here, what do you see? X and m are equal, right? Because n is 3m, n plus x is 3m means what? X must be m. You got the idea. And now, in year n, she was 2m. But from n, x years ago, means x minus n minus x. Then what? X was m. And this was 2m. So if you take out n, she must be m years old in x years ago. Now, number 5. There are m consecutive numbers. What is the difference between the sum of the first n consecutive numbers and the sum of the last n consecutive numbers? Okay, stop video. I give you 20 seconds and come back. If you don't stop, you see my work, you are cheating. Okay, how do you do? M consecutive number, n consecutive at the beginning and n consecutive at the end, something like that. But if you have only those one, you may have trouble in getting some ideas. In this case, you just replace it by numbers and then get idea and come back to letter again. So let's say the m equals 6, for example, and n equals 2, for example. Then 6 consecutive number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at the beginning 2 number, at the end 2 numbers. Whenever they compare this kind of consecutive numbers in grouping, then you just compare corresponding part, first part and the second part. What is the difference? 4. How do you get 4? Go back here. 6 minus 2 will be 4. Oh, n minus n will be difference between corresponding numbers. First, second, and second. If you have more, third and third, how many of those you want? N is to n many difference here. So times by n. Okay? Sometimes to get idea, you just replace by number and then get idea and come back to letters again. Now, okay. Two main topic in this lecture. Mixture. Mixture you can handle by solute over solution. Solute is pure stuff. Like if you have a salt water, then amount of salt will be a solute, and solution is a salt plus some water. Okay? Solution is the total mixed amount, and the solute means pure stuffs. Okay? And the rate times the distance, not only for this case, whichever you multiply two values to get the answer, then it will be the same thing. Like a unit price times the quantity will be total price, or width times length will be area. Whichever you multiply two values, and you can apply this RTD format. RTD format. Now, number 6. There are 80 gallons of 8% salt water. How many gallons of salt must be added to change the solution to 10% salt water? Okay. Stop video and walk. 20 seconds and come back. Okay, whenever we have a mixture problem, you have to calculate solute and the solution. So 80 gallons of 8%, so salt amount will be 6.4, and then solution will be 80. And how many gallons of salt must be added? When you add this x gallon, let's say the x, what happened to amount of salt? Of course, the amount of salt increase, and solution also increase. After that, it becomes 10% salt water. Then you just solve for x. I think you don't have any problem, right? Now go next. If you drive at an average speed of 40 miles per hour from your home to school, you will be 10 minutes late, while you will be 20 minutes late at the speed of 30 miles an hour. What is the distance between your home to school? Okay, stop video and 20 seconds. Okay, when you drive 30 minutes an hour, you will be 20 minutes late, but at the 40 miles, 10 minutes late. Because the faster speed, you save time, right? That's why they are 10 minutes late to the lecture. So in this case, okay, let's say the question is D, distance. So D divided by 30 and D divided by 40. Which one is greater? You drive at 30 miles, you spend more time, right? Number of times. So this must be greater. You subtract that. The difference was 10 minutes. But this one information by hourly, but they give you minute. Then you have to change a minute to hour. So 10 minute difference will be 1 over 6 hours. From here, you just solve for D. I don't think you have any problem, right? Just solve D, getting common denominator. Now, number 8. What's the average speed for the entire trip if you drive at an average speed of n miles per hour from your home to school, and at the speed of n miles per hour from school to home? Okay, stop video, 20 seconds, and come back. Okay, to get average speed, you have to get distance divided by total time you spent, right? So each way you say d, then total distance must be 2d. And when you go to school, you spend d over m. When you come back, d over n. Then you will get average speed. The only difference is what instead of just number, you have letters. Any trouble in solving this? Okay, you practice. You can solve it. Now next question. 6 cows produce 6 cans of milk in 6 days. In how many days can 12 cows produce 12 cans of milk? Okay, stop video and 20 seconds and come back. Okay, 6 cows. If you just say there are 6, you have a trouble. Cows, you have to have some letter representing cows. And the 6 days, for what? 6 cans of milk. Now the question is 12. You know why they make this kind of question? A lot of students, when they read this question, 6, 6, 6, and 12, 12, so another one must be 12. So the answer is 12. But totally wrong. So you have to go by equation. Okay, 6c times 6d make 6n. If you don't include the letters here, okay, too much trouble. You're not going to get idea. Okay? And then the question given by 6 cans of milk. So you have to get figure for 12m. How do you get 12? Times each side by 2. So if you times by 2, only one of them when you have times. So 12c times 6d will be same as that. Or 6d times 12d, whichever you like. Okay, now the question is, how many days? Right? So you divide each side by 12 can of milk in 12 cows. Then how many days? Okay, when you have this equation, any trouble in getting D? D, C, C cancel, 12, 12 cancel, and then what? Question mark must be D. So correct answer is D days, 6 days. Now next question. There are 50 gallons of 8% of water. How many gallons of water must evaporate to change the solution to 10% of water? Okay, stop video, 20 seconds. Okay, 50 gallons of 8% salt water. Whenever you have a mixture problem, you have to calculate solute and solution. 8% of 40 will be 4 gallons in 50 gallons of a solution. The question is evaporation. When salt water evaporates, is there any change in amount of salt? Of course not. Only water evaporates. So amount of salt doesn't change, but solution changes by X, it means decrease. And it becomes 10% salt water. Again, cross product, you can solve 4X. I don't think any of you have trouble. Okay? If you have trouble in solving this one, you have to go back algebra 1 and practice a lot. Now, for those previous question examples, I give you just a detailed note. If you didn't understand with my dialogue, then you study here, stopping a video. Okay? And the next page also continuation of this lecture. If you didn't understand, stop here and study. Now, 11. If you mix 40 gallons of 12% salt water and 60 gallons of 16% salt water, what percent salt water do you get? Stop video, 20 seconds. Okay, if you mix 40 gallons of 12% and the 60 gallons of 16%, what is your new solution? So 12% of 40 will be 4.8. And the solution is 40. And in 60 gallons, 16%, which will be 9.6 gallons. This one is the amount of a total salt from 2 solutions. And total amount of solution will be 40 and 60. Then what is a new solution? Any trouble in getting value of a question mark here? Okay. Now go over 12. There are 50 gallons of 5% salt water. How many gallons of water must evaporated to change the solution to 8% salt water? Stop video, come back 20 seconds after you work out. Okay, 5% of 50 gallon will be 2.5. And solution is 50. When water evaporates, amount of salt doesn't change, but solution decrease, 마이너스입니다. Okay, it's negative, becomes 8% salt water. So for X, it's not plus, it's minus. Now number 13. There are 200 gallons of 5% salt water. How many gallons of salt must be added to change the solution to 8% salt water? Okay, stop video and come back 15 seconds. Okay, 5% of 200 will be 10, and solution will be 200. When you add salt, amount of salt increase, of course, and solution also increase. And then this one become 8%. Again, you can solve it by cross product. Now, number 14. There are 100 gallons of 5% salt water. How many gallons of solution must be replaced by 30% salt water? The solution to change it to 8% salt water. A little different level. Okay, stop video and come back 20 seconds. Okay, 5% of 100 will be 5. And solution will be 100. From here, certain amount you take out and you replace the same amount of 30% salt water now. So when you take out X gallon, solution decreases by X gallons. But what about the salt? Salt will decrease, but by what? Decrease by only 5% of X. Now you replace by 30% salt water. Then solution increased by same amount, and salt increased by 30%. When you calculate, you have to use decimal. Then 8% salt water. Now minus of X plus X cancel. And then when you compare denominator, 100 and 100, and then you just solve this equation, okay? 5 minus 0.05x plus 0.3x equal 8. I don't think any of you have trouble in solving this. Now, next question. There are 50 gallons of 10% water. How many gallons of water must be added to change the solution to 8% salt water? Stop video, come back 20 seconds. Okay, 10% of 50 gallon will be 5, and solution equal 50. Now you add water. If you add water, solution doesn't increase because of pure water, but solution increase. Then it change 8%. I don't think any of you trouble. Okay, cross product and solve for X. Now number 16. If you mix 130 gallons of 10% salt water and 70 gallons of 20% salt water, what percent salt water do you get? Stop video and come back 20 seconds. Okay, Okay, 10% of 130 gallon will be 13. Solution is 130. Now you mix this one. So 20% of 70 will be 14. And solution is 70. When you mix this one, what percent of water do you get? Any problem in solving for x here? Okay, I believe you can do it. Now, this one again, just a lecture. When you have RTD format, to get distance, rate times time. If you need to get rate, d divided by t. If you need to get t, then d divided by r. Okay? If you need more time, stop and look at the note. And the next page also continuation of the lecture note. If you need more, stop video and read. Now number 7. If you drive at an average speed of 40 miles an hour from your home to school and an average speed of 60 miles from the other way to your home, you will spend 1 hour. What is distance from your home to the school? Okay, stop video and come back 20 seconds. Okay, now distance divided by 40 and the distance divided by 60, you spend 1 hour. Any trouble in getting value of d here? I believe not. Now next question. If you drive at an average speed of 40 miles an hour from your home to school and at an average speed of 20 miles an hour from your school to home, what's your average speed for the round trip? Stop video and come back 20 seconds. Okay, whenever you need to get average speed, you have to have a total distance divided by total number of time you spent. So round trip will be 2d, and one way you spend d divided by 40 and the other way d divided by 20. That is a question. Any problem? I don't think. You may not. Now, 19. A pilot plans to make a flight from airport A to airport B with a distance of 600 miles. And then from B to A is a return total 5 hours. At what speed the plane had to fly? The speed of wind from airport A to B was 50 miles an hour. Okay, stop video and come back 20 seconds. Okay, 600 divided by speed x, but the other way 600 divided by x minus 50. Then total 5 hours. Okay, and here we have a trouble in solving x. You get the common denominator and then just cross product and solve it. Now number 20. A plane left Riyadh airport at 3 p.m. flying south at the rate of 200 miles per hour. At 4 p.m. another plane left the same airport flying south at the rate of 300 miles per hour. At what time did the second plane overtake the first plane? Stop video and work out and come back when you finish. Okay, from Riyadh at the 4 p.m. it was already 200, but the other one here at the 4 p.m. 0. So from real to certain point, when they are same point, they take over. Is that right? So first one, from 4 o'clock x hour later, let's say, and this one the total is x. Then the distance by first one will be 200 plus 200 times x. But second one is 0 plus 300, because at the 4 o'clock it was the airport. When they are equal, they take over. Okay, from real to same distance. Then you just solve for x here. Now next, an airplane made a flight over 2,000 miles in 5 hours. During the first 3 hours of the trip, it had good weather. It then ran into bad weather, which decreases the rate by 75 miles for the rest of the flight. Find the rate on each part of the flight. Okay, stop video and come back when you finish. Okay, let's say the first 3 hours it flight x, then let's say the t, okay, distance is t way better, and x is spent 3 hours. And the next 2 hours for remaining distance, but speed was decreased by 75, and then it spent 2 hours. Any trouble in getting value x here? From here you get t equal 3x. You replace 3x, then only one kind of a known variable, and you can solve for x. Okay? Next, if you drive at an average speed of 40 miles an hour from your home to Cambridge, you will be 5 minutes late. If you drive at an average speed of 20 miles an hour, you will be 10 minutes late. What's the distance from your home to Cambridge? Stop video, come back when you're finished. Okay, when you drive 20 miles an hour, you are 10 minutes late, but at the 40 miles an hour, you are 5 minutes late because of faster speed. Okay? For this one, you make equation. The distance divided by 20, and then distance divided by 40. Of course, this figure is greater, right? Same value divided by smaller number means greater value. So difference will be 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 10 minutes difference is 5 minutes. 5 minutes is what? How many hours? 1 over 12. Any trouble in getting value of d here? Well, you can do it. Okay? Hey, thank you for your watching my video, and see you next time. I will bring more of SAT practice problems. Okay, thank you. Bye.